Humans have long been attracted to bizarre entertainment and art, whether it's Picasso's unorthodox artwork or the most abnormal, psychotic movies to ever grace cinema. When I first watched the end of Evangelion, as soon as the movie concluded, I just sat there and stared at my ceiling in silence. I was left dazed, confused, and I did not understand any of it, but I loved it anyway. I believe video games are no exception, and no game I have played recently encapsulates this feeling more than ENA Dream BBQ. ENA was created by Joel G and originated as a 4-episode YouTube series that garnered a cult-like following. A sequel was announced in March of 2021, but eventually it evolved into a full-fledged chapter-based video game, ENA Dream BBQ. This game, like the series, is bizarre. Your goal in ENA is simple. Find the boss. But he's not even born yet. But you have to find him. After talking to a strange man in a frog suit speaking Japanese, you find out that you need to clear up the smoke covering the overworld to find the boss. You are tasked with talking to a G behind the lonely door, which is where the first chapter of the game takes place. Upon entering the door, I basked in the landscape of this new, strange world. This is how ENA's art style really shines, presenting the players strange, unnatural creatures and landscapes. I sat by this window for a little while observing this place, questioning what I was even looking at. What is that eerie seal funhouse thing? What in the world is that creature with a hippo and snake head? Its use of crisp 2D animations and sprites, combined with its use of unconventional 3D objects to create out of this world creatures, makes the world of ENA seem like a fever dream. One big inspiration for ENA Dream BBQ is LSD Dream Emulator, another strange, bizarre game in and of itself. But comparing the two of them, the similarities are actually really obvious. But what does the game play like? Well, I'm glad you asked. ENA revolves around you exploring this bizarre world, completing tasks for these goofball characters. It is an adventure puzzle game, similar to something like Myst. There is an abundance of side quests and content in this game, at least for the first chapter, such as a time I got tasked by a wizard to create life itself. But first I wanted to finish a mission where I put a mayonnaise jar on this guy's head. Or the time I had to find this horse dude's babies that aren't very baby shaped. All this fits in so perfectly with the eccentric atmosphere of this game. What intensifies this world's strangeness is the absurd characters, similar to another popular and loved game, Undertale. Our main character, ENA, has multiple forms, but her main form has a split body, inspired by this Picasso painting. In this form, she has two personalities, her professional sounding red side versus her more aggressive and unhinged white side. To me, this seemed like a metaphor for dissociative identity disorder. However, much like the rest of this game, it runs much deeper than just surface level. There's kind of this air of mystery around ENA's role in this world, but we'll see more of that in subsequent chapters. However, like I stated previously, there's a goofy guy in a frog outfit who speaks to you in Japanese, and you just magically understand him. That's not even the craziest dude. That's just kind of the norm for this game. There's this dude named Hoarder Alex. He's like a weird rat dog dude. He's the same guy that made you put the mayonnaise jar on that little kid's head. And he has quite possibly one of the stupidest death scenes I've ever seen in a game. There's a crazy Australian dude, but that might just be a normal Australian guy. You know Australians be crazy, man. And oh, how can I forget? Donkey Jong, my favorite Nintendo character. I bet his games don't cost $80. The dialogue in ENA Dream BBQ exudes this quirky goofiness. It's probably my favorite part of this game. It's fun to listen to, and overall just so well written and well done. Although underneath this shell of fun, bizarre atmosphere, and dreamlike environments, there's a feeling in you saying that something isn't quite right. And you feel this strange uneasiness. And that's where the next element of this game comes into play. When you first enter the world of ENA Dream BBQ, you are met with an empty street basked in the red light from above. All you can do is keep moving forward, and as you do, you notice a strange humanoid mannequin above your head swimming. But don't worry, he's not dangerous. There's this ominous track playing in the background as you continue walking, and eventually you stumble across a bed and lie down, and you appear in the hub world of ENA. Now, this is not a horror game at all. But ENA utilizes these horror elements to grab your attention. There are many times when ENA is talking to another character that make you question what ENA really is. Specifically, this conversation with a gumball machine. There are many times where they sprinkle these horror elements to lead you down this rabbit hole of questions. It's similar to how Omori throws in its psychological elements. It makes you feel comfortable in its world, and just as soon as you start letting your guard down, that's when it gets you. I think these horror elements are extremely well implemented and provide just enough spice to keep you wanting more. I think Joel G and his team of talented people did an excellent job with this first chapter, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. They created such a unique game and concept that I have never seen before and honestly can compare anything to as of late. Although there was one thing lingering in my mind after I watched the credits roll. I understood absolutely nothing. This thought kind of plagued my mind the same way as the first time I watched the end of Evangelion. But unlike that film, there were no answers. It didn't necessarily irritate me, but I was just left confused. That was when I realized something. I wasn't supposed to get it. And that's okay. You derive your own meaning from it, like a work of art such as a Picasso painting. I find that strangely beautiful. Having more than one meaning to a piece of media means that each person can define their own interpretation, allowing people to relate to it that much more. My struggle with understanding this game lessened even more when I realized that ENA is like a representation of our culture on the internet. Like a modern day serial experiments lane, culture on the internet jumps from one thing to another. And nothing makes much sense outside of our own little bubbles. If I were to show my younger self the stupid brain rot from today, I think I would probably explode. I think that's kind of the real beauty of this game, when you sit back and just enjoy this strange, entertaining experience. I genuinely hope that the later chapters of this game capture the same magic that the first one did. There are so many different ideas to explore and lore explanations to uncover, but we'll just have to see in the future what Joel G and his team have in store for us. ENA Dream BBQ is one of the most unique, artistically bizarre games I've ever played, and tackles an abundance of messages and themes. But at the root of it all, it shows a deep care and love for art. With all the concern about AI taking artists' jobs, it's comforting to know that there is still a market for unique concepts and creative expression in this field. This game highlights what makes video games so different from every form of entertainment. This game is an amazing, surreal experience and one of the best indie games of this year. It's also free, so I'm no longer asking. You will play this game.